Good morning, students. This is my lecture number 1 for chapter number 5, The Ailing Planet, The Green Movement's Role, written by Nani Palkhiwala for class 11th, subject English. Children, this chapter number 5 is taken from your main course book Hornbill, and in this lecture number 1, I will teach you this lesson from page number 43 to page number 45, para number 1. So children, let's begin this chapter number 5, The Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's Role and its introduction. This chapter focuses on the factors that are responsible for the declining health of the earth. The chapter was originally an article written by Nani Palkhiwala, which was published in the newspaper The Indian Express on November 23, 1994. The writer discusses the Green Movement, how a zoo in Zambia declared human beings as world's most dangerous animals. The writer also focuses on overpopulation, deforestation, and what should be our responsibility towards the environment. He focuses how we can work on this ailing planet so that it may make our life sustainable as well as possible. Now, I will tell you with what theme has the writer written this chapter. The writer Nani Palkhiwala, the well-known lawyer, has reviewed the ecological situation of the earth with particular reference to India. He points out that our point of view has shifted from the mechanistic to a holistic view of the world where ecology is concerned. The earth has become like an ailing patient. The World Commission on Environment and Development put forward the idea of sustainable development. The idea is that the resources should be used with restraint so that they last for the future generations. The principal biological systems such as fisheries, forests, grasslands and croplands are fast depleting. Forests are being lost at the rate of an acre and a half per second. Though rules exist for the preservation of environment, in India laws are constantly flouted. The actual loss of forests may be 8 times the government statistics. The environment condition in 88 countries is really critical. The growth of world population is chiefly responsible for the degradation of the environment. Population control must be given top priority now. Now he says, the thinking of the people has changed to holistic. We think not just about the survival of the people, but of saving the earth too. Industries need to cooperate in the preservation of the environment. We have borrowed this earth from our children and we must return it to them intact. Your chapter begins with the start of the Green Movement. Now see, I am reading the chapter from your main course book. The chapter begins with, one cannot recall any movement in world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the Green Movement, which started nearly 25 years ago. Now, as per the present time, almost 50 years have passed to this Green Movement. In 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand. Since then, the movement has not looked back. We have shifted, one hopes, irrevocably from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view of the world. Here, you need to understand Irrevocably means in a way that cannot be changed or reversed. Holistic and ecological view means a view for the preservation of the environment. It also refers to the understanding of importance of Earth's resources for the use of future generations. And then the writer writes, it is a shift in human perceptions as revolutionary as that introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the earth and other planets revolved round the sun. For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the earth itself is a living organism, an enormous being of which we are parts. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved. Now, here you need to understand the meaning of revolutionary, that is, evolving a complete change. Metabolic needs means needs of a living organism that enables them to have a chemical process that causes food to be used for growth and energy. Now I tell you what he has written in these lines. This chapter, The Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's Role, was an article published in the newspaper, and the name of the newspaper was The Indian Express, and it was published on November 24, 1994, written by the writer Nani Palkiwala. He wrote about the declining health condition of the earth. The Green Movement, which started nearly 25 years ago from 1994, spread so quickly in world history. The world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand in 1972. From some time, our views have shifted from seeing Earth and its resources as irreversible to complete opposite. We now understand that our resources need to conserve for our future generations. Copernicus taught mankind how the earth and other planets revolve around the sun, and it was a complete change which evolved human perception. Now, the earth is seen as a living organism of which we are an integral part. Earth has its own metabolism and vital needs which humans should respect and preserve if we want this planet must make our life possible. If we want that we should exist on this planet, then it is our foremost duty to take care of this earth, of this planet, so that our future generations must also enjoy life as we are enjoying on this planet. Now, children, the writer will explain our obligations and responsibilities. Let's begin from the book. The Earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good stewards of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy to future generations. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. In its report, it defined the idea as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. That is, without stripping the natural world of resources future generations would need. Now, here, children, you notice the meaning of ethical obligation. That means when someone is required to do something based on a NITES standard of rules. Steward means manage or to look after. Sustainable development means economic development without depletion of natural resources. So, what does the writer teach us in these lines? He teaches, Earth is now like a patient whose health is declining day by day. We, as human beings, are now realizing our duty to be good managers of the planet and to be a responsible trustees to conserve the environment so that we can pass a legacy to the future generations. Sustainable development was popularized in the year 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. In the reports, sustainable development is termed as a type of development that meets the needs of the present generation without wasting or compromising with natural resources so that future generations can meet their needs. Now children, in next lines, the writer will tell us about the world's most dangerous animal. He writes, you see on page number 44 in stanza number 3, in the zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads, the world's most dangerous animal. Inside the cage, there is no animal but a mirror where you see yourself. Thanks to the efforts of a number of agencies in different countries, a new awareness has now dawned upon the most dangerous animal in the world. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. Estimates vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species. Biologists reckon that about 3 to 100 million other living species still languish unnamed in ignominious darkness. Now notice the meaning of the difficult words. Dawned means began, catalogued means classify or characterize. Reckon means calculate. Languish means lose or lack of vitality of a person or plant or animal, grow weak. Ignominious darkness means disgraces as no one has knowledge about them. So in these lines he is telling us that in a cage in a zoo in Lusaka, Zambia, there reads a notice, the world's most dangerous animal. And inside the cage there is no animal but a big mirror placed that depicted that humans are the world's most dangerous animals. With the efforts of new agencies in the world, now humans are seen as the most dangerous animals. They have realized the importance of shifting to a new system based on partnership, and humans share the earth with about 1.4 million living species according to the classification of scientists. Biologists calculate that there are still millions of other species which are yet not classified due to their weakness or due to lack of knowledge about them. So, in these lines, basically, he tells the world's most dangerous animal is human itself, because the biggest harm to this earth is because of humans and the overpopulation. Resources are depleting and population is increasing. Therefore, resources are not meeting out the desires of the increasing population. In next paragraph, he writes, one of the early international commissions which dealt inter alia with the question of ecology and environment was the Brand Commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its members, Mr. L.K. Jha. The first Brand report raised the question, are we to leave our successors a scorched planet of advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes, and ailing environment? You see, inter alia means among other things. And he writes scorched. Scorched means burn the surface with heat of fire. Impoverished means made poor. And ailing, in poor health. So, Brand Commission was one of the early international commissions who dealt with questions of ecology and environment. They commissioned Mr. L. K. Jha as one of their commission members who was an Indian citizen. Its first report raised a question that are we going to leave a burned planet with arid deserts, poor landscapes, and a poor environment for our future generations? Children, now we are reading the last para on page number 44. Mr. Lester R. Brown, in his thoughtful book, The Global Economic Prospect, points out that the Earth's principal biological systems are four. They are fisheries, forests, grasslands, and croplands, and they form the foundation of the global economic system. In addition to supplying our food, these four systems provide virtually all the raw materials for industries except minerals and petroleum derived synthetics. In large areas of the world, human claims on these systems are reaching an unsustainable level, a point where their productivity is being impaired. When this happens, fisheries collapse, forests disappear, grasslands are converted into barren wastelands, and croplands deteriorate. In a protein conscious and protein hungry world, overfishing is very common every day. In poor countries, local forests are being decimated in order to procure firewood for cooking. In some places, firewood has become so expensive that what goes under the pot now costs more than what goes inside it. Since the tropical forest is, in the words of Dr. Myers, the powerhouse of evolution, several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. Children, notice the meaning of difficult words here. The first difficult word I found is synthetics. Synthetics means artificial substances. And the second one is impaired. Impaired means weakened or damaged. And the third one I find is barren wastelands. That means barely inhabitable piece of land. Deteriorate means worse, decline. And decimated means to reduce in number. Procure means obtain with care or efforts. So now I tell you what has the writer written in these lines which I have read just now. There are four principal biological systems that form the foundation of the global economic system according to the book by Leslie R. Brown, The Global Economic Prospect, Fisheries, Grasslands, Forests and Croplands. These are the four systems which provide food and raw materials for industry except for minerals and synthetics. Synthetics means artificial substances. These systems have reached an unsustainable point where their productivity has impaired. Impaired means weakened or damaged. With these, fisheries will collapse, the forest will slowly disappear, grasslands will turn into barren wastelands, and croplands will become worse. Overfishing is very common nowadays where people are becoming protein conscious. In poor countries, forests are being cut down on a large scale to obtain wood for cooking. And in some areas, firewood is most costly than food. Many species are under destruction in tropical forests. Children, there will be a very important question on this biological system that are formed, and he will ask you about all these four systems and their roles and how they are affecting the environment. So you need to be very careful while reading the four biological systems or the Earth's principal biological systems, that are fisheries, forests, grasslands and croplands, and how they are depleting. So children, in this lecture number 1, I have taught you this chapter from page number 43 to page number 45, para 1. And in lecture number 2, we will conclude the whole chapter. So, children, on the basis of understanding the chapter, you people are supposed to summarize it in your fair English notebook. For that, it is better to read the chapter from your book and then summarize it in your fair English notebook. That would be better for making notes in future. And in my next lecture, I will teach you from page number 45, para number 2 onwards till the end of the chapter. By the time, have a nice day. Take care of yourself.